Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Lily Reads. In today's video, we are going to be reading 3 books to end out this month. So I was going through my new purchases and I found a pattern. And so I'm going to read the pattern. You want to know what that pattern is? It is white women who are exhausted. So there is a brand of book where there is a white woman on the cover and she is just completely exhausted. She has had enough. Think My Year of Rest and Relaxation. Think Sorrow and Bliss. The reason why I use these 2 books, because you have one that I do not like, My Year of Rest and Relaxation, and then you have one that I completely adore, Sorrow and Bliss. And so I'm conflicted. This type of book sometimes is a hit for me. These white women who are depressed, sometimes they have mental illness, they're going through life and they just can't find their drive. Sometimes it works for me, and then other times I find it directionless, I find it silly, I think it's kind of fake, I think it's trying too hard. And so I said, I got some white women exhausted books. Let's see how I feel about them. Let's come up with a definitive decision on how I feel about this type of book. So I got 3 books that I feel like all fit this. So the first book I have is from Book of the Month, and it is called Definitely Better Now by Ava Robinson. If this was not a Book of the Month pick, I would not have gotten my hands on it. But it was, and I have it, and so I said it'll be perfect to be reading in this video, and this is the first book I will be reading in this video. So then I was like, okay, what else we got? What else we got on the shelves? I didn't want to look too far to see if there was actually a woman like passed out on my bookshelf, but then I got to Green Dot. I knew I had this book, and literally right in the synopsis, it talks about this woman being depressed and tired. And so Madeline Gray, we are going to read Green Dot, and we're going to see if this book, if it's the thing that I need. Is this my sorrow and bliss? Is this going to work for me? And then we literally have a girl who is laid out on a table who has had enough, and it is called Worry. We are going to also read Worry by Alexandra Tanner in this book. And let's see how these are going to go. Let's see if I like this genre book. If it's not for me, can I stop picking these up? Is there something I can learn new about myself when it comes to these books? I don't know, but I'm excited to get into them, and this is going to be our week of reading, so let's get on into it, okay? Peace! Hello, you guys. I am here to give first thoughts on the book Definitely Better Now by Ava Robinson. I have gotten to the 100-page mark in this book, which I'm very proud of because I haven't been wanting to read. I'm not in a reading slump. Something has made me not want to pick up books, but I'm not in a slump. Like I should be reading, and I know I should be reading, but I just haven't been wanting to pick up books. But anyways, we are reading this book. And so I want to start by saying that this book is nowhere near what I thought this book was going to be. So in this book, we are following a woman who is 26 years old by the name of Emma. And she starts the book by telling us she is 1 year sober. She is actually about to be 1 year sober when this book starts. At midnight, she'll be 1 year sober. And she's just giving us a rundown on her life, how for the past year, she has been dealing with her sobriety. And now after the 1 year mark, her life begins, because now this is where she kind of gets freedom. She doesn't have to check in with her sponsor every single day. She gets to date people now. And so now this is where in Alcoholics Anonymous, they basically tell you, this is when you start getting your life back. And she's excited about it, but she's also a little anxious because she doesn't know who she is as a person. And so you're basically just following Emma as she is trying to get her life together, trying to figure out who she is now as a sober woman. She works at this company. It's a successful company. She is in marketing. She has a mother who is single. She has a father who kind of ran off on her. He didn't run off. She always knew her dad, but she really wasn't raised by him, but he's around. And she has she has a work friend, and then there might be a guy that she has a little something with going on. So let me tell you how I'm feeling about this book. This book is 20 times better than I thought this book was going to be. And I'm going to tell you why. So the whole purpose of this video was like, I don't really get the girl exhausted type of literature that we are getting like funneled. I feel like for the past, really since 2017, 2018, we have been funneled white girl exhausted, type of books. And I just don't get them. I never get the characters. I'm never able to relate to the characters the way other people are able to relate to the characters. Either it's like a girl who's like really depressed and she treats people really, really bad, and she doesn't take care of herself and she doesn't take care of her responsibilities. And I'm just like, I can't get it. Or it's like the good for her genre where it's just like, you know what, she's been wrong, so she's going to wrong everybody else. I also can't get on board with that. And so this genre, well, this subgenre, this type of fiction never lands with me because I'm just like, these women are silly. I find the women in the books to be really, really silly. But this book is giving me girl exhausted, girl depressed, anxious, unsure, but there are reasons. Of course, a book doesn't have to go all the way with giving someone alcoholism for me to be like, oh, wow, I relate to this book. But because I know she is dealing with being an alcoholic, I'm able to gravitate to her. I get her. I get her. I understand. It doesn't feel like nonsense. It doesn't feel like mess for the sake of mess. The character doesn't seem fake. A lot of times in the girl exhausted books, the characters seem fake. They seem so made up. And it's just like, this person is only like this so she can be in this type of book, and so certain type of people can be like, wow, that's great, but like it's not actually relatable. It's like fake relatability, and I hate that. I hate when things are marketed like it should be seen as earnest, and everything about it just seems cheap and vapid. That's how I feel when I read these books sometimes. But this book is different, and dare I say I'm able to relate to this book a lot. Obviously not in the sense of being an alcoholic, but in the sense that this character uses her alcoholism to kind of discuss how she feels about like herself, and this feeling that like everyone is watching you. Like at all times, you have to put on some type of performance or something's going to get you. Like it almost feels like you're constantly running from yourself. That's what this book is doing brilliantly. It's describing the feeling of feeling like you are running from yourself, that there is a true self that you are running from, and you have to keep going and going and going to outrun this like person who you are so afraid of becoming, instead of just being yourself, finding who you are. And what I really am enjoying about this book is that she's taking small steps to become like, to build an actual life. You know the saying that life happens while you're making plans. Like if she just starts to do this little stuff, that just will become her life. So she gets invited to drinks with her colleagues. And she's like, I want to be somebody who has friends in a social life. Well, she's going to have to go out for drinks. If she wants to have her dad in her life, she's going to have to hang out with her dad, It's if she wants to have deep connection, she's going to have to give people a pound of flesh. And that's the part I'm able to relate to. This idea that like, if you want to have meaningful relationships and an active life, you have to be the person who goes out and gets that. Like you can't sit there and wait for it to come to you, because it's never going to. You're going to die miserable. You have to go out and make that life that you want to. If you want to be, so you guys know on here, I always talk about Thursday is date night in my house. And it feels good when I tell people like every single week, I go out for drinks every single week. Me and my man, we have us a good time. And then on the weekends, we like to go see a movie, or we like to go do some activity. Like it feels good to have things like a life that you want. Like this is the life that I want, Same thing about like reading books. A lot of people want to be book readers, and I just tell them, you got to just pick up a book and read a fucking book. It's really not that hard. Like if you want to live a certain life, you just have to start doing the thing, and before you know it, you'll be doing the thing. And that's what this book is doing really, really well. And it's using alcoholism to an addiction to show that. And there's also other thoughtful things happening, but I'm going to keep on reading. I don't want to sell it too hard. We still got 250 pages, and books have disappointed me with less pages. So we still have 250 pages, but from this cover, I feel like makes this book seem a a little bit sillier than what it is. The writing is good in the book. I'm enjoying this. Anyways, I need to clean up this office. I went out to go see Sinners yesterday, and I have makeup everywhere. I still have all the stuff out from when I did my hair. My office just is a mess, and so I'm going to do some cleaning, and I'll pick you guys back up when I read a few more pages, okay? Hello, you guys. I was cleaning up like I told you I was going to do in the last clip, and I realized I have a dirty little secret, and I'm going to fix that dirty little secret with you guys. Do you guys want to know what that dirty little secret is? That dirty little secret is called concealer. I own too much concealer. Let's talk about it. So welcome to my makeup drawer. This is my concealer drawer. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We have concealer. We have some miscellaneous bronzers and contour sticks. And then we have my foundations. And I try to get rid of stuff I do not use or stuff that I just haven't used in a while. That means the exact same thing. But it is so hard for me to get rid of concealer. You guys, these are all concealers. I have one face, and you guys know this better than anybody else. I don't wear makeup that often. I wear makeup on a good week, once a week. I am not somebody who wakes up every single morning and puts on makeup. That's one of those things, as I was speaking in the last clip, maybe I might want to turn into one of those people, like a makeup everyday type of girl, but I don't. So yeah, why do I have so many concealers? It's getting like a whole basket of concealers. And then I have my foundations. I have been so good at getting rid of foundations. So I'm not really worried about that. If you want to know what I believe are the best foundations I think ever made, number one is the NARS Longwear Foundation. Everyone should have this in their collection. Everyone should have this foundation. This foundation got the blues when it first came out. Wrongly persecuted. This foundation is still so good. Second foundation everybody should have. The Red Blonde Color Stay. Yeah, drugstore girls, come get yours. This foundation is so good. Never got its day in the sun. This foundation is so good. And then, of course, the House Labs. The House Labs foundation is great. And to be honest, that's all the foundation I really need. I'll keep the Makeup by Mario. I haven't used this in a while, so I'll keep it. This is another color stay because I got backups. I also have another one in my travel because it's the travel makeup I like to use. And then I also do really like this as well. I don't use this as much as I should. This is like real full beat, so I'm gonna keep that. But I am going to get rid of this Charlotte Tilbury foundation. This just never was in my shade. This is far too red. It's a pity I'm getting rid of it, but it was just too red. I wore it literally a couple weeks ago for a Patreon video, and I thought my makeup looked stomped on. And then more concealer. So anyways, the foundations are fine. I'm pretty good at not buying foundation and getting rid of foundation that I do not use. So we're good there. Let's get into the concealers. Okay. Concealer that is definitely staying. These Born This Way concealers. Yeah, these are staying. This is the one I put on. I actually should have bought another one of these during the sale. This is the base color I put on. Then I put this one on top. And then if I'm really going for a bright under eye, I'll put this one on top too. So all of these three stay. They stay. They serve a purpose. Then we have this Kevyn Kwan foundation. This was so expensive. So expensive. And it's such a good product. It's such a good product, but I never have a reason to use this. This is the most full coverage concealer you will ever use in your life. Like, if you really want to do something, but I never use it. But it's like a specialty item because it was so expensive and it's so good. It's just, there's never a point in my life to use it. but it's staying. See, this is my problem. So some stuff I know I can get rid of. The NARS Radiant Creamy. I keep wanting this to work. The girls keep saying I should try and make this work. I find this to be too thin, too watery, and I don't really like the finish of it. So that's going to go. I just bought this color stay to match my foundation. And this was fine. Not the best coverage in the world. I'm not big on drugstore concealer. You're going to see some drugstore concealers in here, but I never use them. I am not very big on drugstore concealer. I never have been big on drugstore concealer. So, like, I don't really know. I'll keep one, and this might be the one. Which means I can get rid of all the rest of them, of these. So I'll keep this, maybe. Okay, let's get into some other stuff. I have some Sephora concealers. Drugstore, I'm going to get rid of this NYX. I used to love this back in the day, and I bought a new one. Ooh, this is a chop. I can't get rid of anything, you guys. I can't. Okay, what I know we can get rid of is this Rare Beauty concealer. It's a bad color, and I hate the wand. I don't know what they was doing with it. That can go. Another underrated concealer. Underrated concealer alert. These Huda Beauty. So once again, I go in with Salted Caramel first. This is the darker shade. I go in with this. And then I finish up with this. If I want a surefire great beat, this is my tried and true. This is always going to look good. Underrated. I'm keeping those two. I think I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of the color stain. So far, we done got rid of 3. Another tried and true House Labs. I have 3 House Labs. One of these is just a, one of these is almost empty. And it's a backup. So 41. 41 is my shade. This is my, like, actual shade that I use. Yeah, this is almost at its end. I have a backup, and then I go in with a lighter color for there. So if anyone ever wanted to know with my makeup application, I always go in with 2 concealers. Actually, I go in with 3 concealers, believe it or not. I put a base. I use the NARS little pomade. I put that on first. Before I do, right after my primer, I put this on to, like, cover blemishes. And then I go in with my 2 concealers I want you to see. So that's what these 2 are. And this, I've never even used this. This is a lighter shade to the one I usually use. And I've never actually even used the lighter shade. I be wasting money. I just be wasting money. Because, like, why do I have that? But I use this every single time I do my makeup. Every single time. There is not a day where I don't use this product right here. So this is staying. And then maybe at some point, I think I totally forgot I had this lighter shade, because when you can't see the products you have, it becomes a mess. This is the House Lab backup. And so then we have a bunch of stuff that I honestly feel nothing towards. I'm going to get rid of this Fenty one. This Fenty one, if you want a very good coverage, Fenty is good. I just never reach for it, and I'm showing you guys all these concealers that I have. When is enough enough? I have this makeup by Mario that I just don't use enough. I just don't use it enough, but I am going to keep it because I like the color from what I can see. And then we have, okay, so this is this new Fenty that I got. I really don't want to swatch anything. So yeah, if I'm getting rid of that Fenty, I'll keep this Fenty. And we have some Sephora. I have shockingly a lot of Sephora. I have 3 Sephoras. We don't need to keep all 3. We're gonna get rid of this one. I think we're gonna get rid of this too. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of all 3 Sephora brands. They just not moving the needle for me. And then we have a Patrick Star, one size. This, I need to go get the darker shade in this because I feel like if I get this in a darker shade and this is the highlight color on top, boots. I'm keeping this. This seems like I need to use this more. I'm keeping this, and then I have the Hourglass. Same deal. I thought I could use it for a highlight. The issue is it's rare that I go in with a different brand of concealer after my first layer. And so that's why I haven't gone. These were just supposed to be first layers. And so now I think I should just go back and buy the base layer in these same colors. Mind you, the sale just ended, so this is nothing I'm doing anytime soon. But I'm going to keep these because I really haven't even used them. So those can stay. I'm not even making any progress. And this NYX one, though I love the color, it can go. So before y'all get started, before y'all even get started, I'm getting rid of all this concealer. So don't even act like I ain't got rid of nothing. I'm getting rid of all of this concealer, okay? All of this is gone. And now let's put everything back. Let's put the big boys back. And like, think about the stuff that's just like dupes. In reality, I only really have like, this is all 1, 2, 3, and I need, this is just a different product basically. 4, 5, 6. And then these as highlights. And this is just novelty. I can just put this back here with that. That's just novelty. And I put that, this is less, okay? This is less concealer. I feel better about less. And then we got rid of a foundation. I feel good about that. In here, I got some Oma. I got an Oma stick. I never used that side. A Oma. I probably can get rid of this at this point. I'm getting rid of this finally. And then I bought this to like be a bronzer. It was it's a foundation stick, but I was going to use it for bronzer. It kind of didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. I'm going to get rid of that too. And then I think this color is so unique. This is Rare Beauty's bronzer stick. And this bronzer stick is like in a purple. I think it is such a good product and I never use it. And I'm going to use it the next time I do my makeup. I love the color of this. And then I have this Chanel bronzer. It ain't that good of a product. I'm literally probably just holding on to it because it's Chanel. It ain't that great of a product. I might give it to my sister. And then boom. So now this is just less. I feel better about this. Y'all do not even want to see the other drawers and what I got going on in the other drawers. It ain't pretty. I ain't used a makeup palette in so long in these makeup. Y'all don't need to see nothing about that. I just need that drawer. This is my favorite drawer. And now it has stuff that I actually use and not a bunch of nonsense. Okay? Peace. Hello, my beautiful people. I am here to come give my final updates before I finish the book. I only have about 100 pages left of this book, and I want to come and tell you guys how I am feeling about this book. Okay, so first things first, this book is like a backdoor romance. This book is a backdoor romance book. If you are looking to read this book and you're expecting like a literary fiction, getting inside the psyche of this woman who is dealing with alcoholism, you will get that. But I will say after like the 100-page mark, you really are kind of just being thrown into a romance book. It's not a heavy romance book, but it's the type of romance book that I usually gravitate towards. And that's a romance book where like there's other things going on. Like there's a romance at the root of it, but you're following other things as this romance is building. That's what this book becomes. And it makes me ask the question, Is this book kind of like the book Emily Henry is coming out with? I haven't read Emily Henry's new book, but I do know the colors of this book and Emily Henry's book are the exact same. And I know a lot of people are saying that Emily Henry's book is like a kind of a romance, kind of not a romance, about a woman kind of getting her life together. Maybe they have nothing in common. And once I read Emily Henry's book, I'll realize that. But like, maybe this is the book Emily Henry should have read and you guys would have liked it, because I'm actually enjoying the romantic parts of this book. This is actually how I would like most romance books to be written. This, if you're going to give me a romance plot line, I actually want it in this way, where we are getting to know a character and then she falls in love. Like, this book is having I even got to the third act breakup. I am literally on the third act breakup. So this is a backdoor romance, or maybe I should start reading the synopsis of my books. And then maybe, just maybe, I wouldn't be so shocked when things happen in books. But anyways, I'm really enjoying this book. The only like real thing about this book, where this book won't get 5 stars, is something about this book feels a little untrue. I say this often when I'm reading certain books. I will talk about how we'll get a character, we'll get a backstory on a character, and then the character will move throughout the book. And I will say something about this feels false. Like, it doesn't feel like this particular person would be in this situation. And something about our main character does feel a little false. When she talks about her life before being sober, something about it doesn't feel real. Something about it feels like she's almost telling you a lie. Like, did these things really happen? Like, something about the before character and the after character, it's not that they feel different, because they should feel different. She was an alcoholic, now she's in recovery. Of course the character should feel different, but something about the way she is telling us she was acting and how she's acting now just don't, like, she's literally night and day different. And it's just like, I don't know if that's necessarily how this really works in real life. Like, it makes you wonder, like, who she was before. You become more curious about who she was before them, because you like, I think the before you was kind of a way more interesting person. I feel like Emma is flat. I feel like Emma is a flat character. Sometimes it's intentional. Like I said before, talking about how like you have to turn yourself into other people in order to outrun a version of yourself that you don't want to be. Sometimes I think it's intentional. And sometimes I think this author doesn't want Emma to have any actual flaws. So it's easy to make her like an alcoholic in the past. We never really get to see her past, so you can't judge that version of Emma. But in the present, it seems like the character doesn't want to give her actually any real character traits that would have to be investigated or would have to make her, you know, maybe dislikable in some way. She's kind of like nothingness. She's really, really flat in a way. Like, her being an alcoholic is kind of her only personality trait in the current day. She has no other personality trait. And that would be my only critique. I think there could be some moments where you see Emma as, there's certain things that Emma was before the alcohol, and after the alcohol that's still there, you know. But other than that, you guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, I am enjoying this book. But you guys, I kind of have a bone to pick, and it's a bone that, like, I don't know if anyone is discussing. Why are Book of the Month books made so poorly? I took off the dust jacket on this book, and like I'm putting it back on, and like now the dust jacket like barely fits on it. Like, the dust jacket is so like loose on it, and then the dust jacket gets like fingerprints all over it. And then I was comparing this book to, let's take this Coates book. If you take this Coates book and I compare the dust jacket, this is thick. There's a thickness to this dust jacket. Like, there's some, it feels like it's actually protecting the book. But then when I use this, it just seems flimsy and papery. And then if you were to, I have a stain. You won't be able to see it. Maybe you can. Do y'all see that stain right there? That's a stain. That's in the shadow. That's a stain. Then when you take off the dust jacket, the actual book gets stained if any piece of water gets on it. These are Book of the Month books are just poorly made to a point where it's like inexcusable, because these are like not like, look at it. Like, it's just, like, look at that. Like, why is it doing that? I literally just put I didn't even take the back off. And like, why is it bubbling up? Like, I have an issue with book of the month books. And I think the paper is cheap as well. I think the paper in book of the month books are cheap as well. And it makes you not want to buy a book of the month book. The only thing that people complain about with book of the month that doesn't really bother me, people complain about the book of the month logo. I really don't give a damn. I really don't give a damn. But like, I do care about a book that you pay money for just being of good quality. Like, the book of the month is not that cheap. So like, reading this, I've just had an issue, and it's been bothering me because this is the first book of the month book I've read in a little bit, and I'm just like, I don't like the way that I feel. Anyways, I'm going to finish this book by tonight, and I will come back and probably give you thoughts on it in the morning. So yeah, peace. Hello, you guys. I am here to give my final thoughts on Definitely Better Now by Ava Robinson. I'm going to go ahead and give this book 3.5 stars. Anything interesting this book had to say is kind of said in the first 100 pages. Then you get the middle where I told you this book turns into, like, it's slowly shifting into a romance. But then you get the end where it's a romance and a grief novel at the same time. I don't do well with grief stories. I'm not very much so grieving my parents type of reader. Not my thing. I don't really do romance all that much either. And that's what this book turns into, quite honestly. This book turns into a romance book in the last third of it. And so it kind of lost me a little bit. It's still enjoyable. And I actually think this book has more of an audience than anything else I usually read on my channel. So if you are a romance person and you want to read about someone who's kind of relatable in many ways, pick this book up. I still stand on a lot of the things I said in the last clip about something about the character being a little dishonest as a, protagonist. But overall, I enjoyed this. I'm happy I picked this for book of the month, but we gotta move on. To Green Dot. We are going to read Green Dot. This is our next book. Now, on the cover, she's not exhausted, but if you read the blurb, it talks about just how tired, like it says, to her, the future is nothing but an exhausting thought exercise, one depressing hypothetical after another. She's another white woman who is depressed. I'm assuming she's white from this. So I'm excited to get into this one. I think this is not that long of a book. So I should get probably 100 pages into this today if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And so, yeah, I'm excited. But do you guys want to see a Sephora order that I got? I've been sitting here looking for scissors that I know I brought over here. Let me go find some scissors. Okay, before I show you guys what I got in my Sephora order, I need to show you guys my sourdough proofers came. For my sourdough girlies, how are you supposed to wash these? They're wood, so they shouldn't go in they're like bamboo-ish, woody. They shouldn't go in the washer. Should I just like soak them a little bit? Talk to me. And then I think I'm gonna put these in the washing machine. These are like our proofers for our sourdough, because you guys, next vlog, we're making sourdough, baby. Anyways, I did some grocery shopping and I didn't even buy sourdough. That's how you know I'm serious about making my sourdough. Like, I'm not even buying sourdough anymore. I'm an at-home sourdough maker. But let's see what I got from Sephora, because I told you guys I was going to put in an order, and I did. Okay, first things first. I did end up buying another Sephora makeup brush. I just had to, you guys. I had to. I bought, how do I want to open this? I bought a nice little contour, maybe blush if you bought it. Ooh, this would be good for blush. Yeah, love this brush. One of my favorite brushes from Sephora. It's the number 93 brush. Fun. Next thing I bought was this Belief Aqua Cream. I used the Tatcha water cream. Let me show you guys what we got going on here. So I use the Tatcha water cream. You guys have seen me unhaul. This is what I usually use. But I think for the summer, I think I'm gonna dive into the Belief Aqua Bomb just to see if this gives me more hydration. I have really, really dry skin. I really, really do. So I think I'm going to start using this once I run out of the Aqua Bomb. Not the Aqua Bomb, the water cream that I'm using now. I'm gonna use that. So those are my purchases there. And then I can open this up now because I officially ran out. The most expensive thing in my skincare routine, but I can't live without it. It is so good. It is so good. It literally, I don't want you to buy this because once you start buying it, you're not going to be able to stop, and it's $190. It's too much money. But I have the La Mer treatment lotion. I have this in 2 sizes. This comes in 3 sizes. You have a travel that I have, then you have this size, and then you have an even bigger size. I guess this time I was being cheap and said, fuck the bigger size. My nails are not gonna let me open this. And so yeah, it's this. You just do a little. It's syrupy. Boom. You just instantly look hydrated. It feels so good on the skin. I think it's a must for summer when it's hot. If I have a skincare fridge somewhere. If I really was serious, I put it in my skincare fridge for the summer so it can be cold when I use it. Gaggy. We have 2 things left. 2 things left. I purchased a lip liner from Fenty. I haven't bought something from Fenty in a while. It's crazy. You guys saw me unhauling all of that makeup. It wasn't that much. And here I go buying more. Ooh, this is pretty. Ooh, it's creamy. Look at that. Imagine that on the lip. Should have bought 2 of these. Should have bought 2 of these. That's gaggy. Let me put it in here before I lose it, because I will lose it. Oh, I can't wait to put that on the lip. And then, so you guys know I tried that Jackie Aina perfume, and my one complaint was that the Jackie Aina perfume didn't last very long. So I was in the comments of the perfume on Sephora. I was in the reviews, and someone said that Jackie Aina's was actually a dupe for this K. Ali perfume called Capri. And I want to see where they telling the truth. And they said that the K. Ali one lasted longer. So I was like, instead of buying the Jackie one, which I have an issue with how long it lasts, let me see if the K. Ali smells just as good and if it lasts longer. And then I will decide. They didn't have this in full size. Is this like discontinued? If they don't have it in full size, I'll just buy a bunch of these. But let me see. They definitely are similar. I do think the Jackie Aina one smells better. The Jackie Aina one has more of a sweeter smell, they smell a lot alike. I think this Jackie Aina one smells fresher. The Jackie Aina one has a more fresh smell that appeals to me, but they're definitely in the same family. And if you don't like how long the Jackie Aina one lasts, you might as well get this one. I've tried K. Ali since they last longer. And so, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But that's all that I bought. I'm done with Sephora for the year. I ain't buying nothing else from Sephora for the rest of the year. I'm lying, by the way. Like, Kenya is literally lying to you, but let's pretend like I'm not. Anyways, I also did some book shopping, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video. I'm gonna read Green Dot, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hello, you guys. Y'all are up on this angle, which means that I am probably giving you a reading update. So I have begun reading Green Dot by Madeline Gray, and I wish I was coming to give you guys positive thoughts, but I am not coming to give you guys positive thoughts. So I have made it to the 150 page mark of this book. So I am actually almost halfway done with this book. And this book is actually very simple. In this book, we are following a 26-year-old girl who is from Australia, and she is writing something to herself. Like, she seems to be telling a story to herself and writing a story down to herself. And the story she is writing down is about how she fell in love with a man who was married and had kids, I think. And this is their love romance. This is how it happened, basically. She's trying to tell us how she fell in love with this man. And that's pretty much the synopsis. So that takes us back to when she had just finished her 3rd degree and she applies to be a moderator at a job. So her job is to look through the comments on this news site and flag any comments that could be seen as, derogatory, inciting violence, racist, all of that stuff. And that is her job all day, to read through comments. This is a really big step for her because she has never had a job. She has never had a job before. She is just going from degree to degree. She's never wanted a job, and she's just like, going through life. She lives with her dad. She doesn't have any income, and that's just that. She doesn't really know her mom. She knows her mom, but she's not close with her mom. Her dad had full custody of her when she became a teenager, so that's just how things have been. She's really close to her dad. She has some friends who she's known since she was in middle school. That will be what we would call in America, since middle school. And basically she doesn't really have any more of an adult life. She has a life from when she was younger, but she hasn't really been able to create an adult life for herself. But now getting this job, she starts to create this adult job, and we see how she meets this man. There is a man who is a director at her job. His name is Arthur, and they quickly strike up a friendship, and that friendship leads to romance. And that's what has happened in this book. This book just grinds my gears in so many ways. It has nothing to do with the plot because there's hardly any plot in this book. This book grinds my gears in, number one, the way that it's physically formatted. I don't like when books are, this isn't a good page because this has breaks. Okay, let me find a page that, this is the, look, now it looks like, anyways, I don't like when books are single spaced and there's no real breaks in the paragraphs or anything like that. So it's hard to read. To me, it's really hard on the eyes and really hard to read. And you constantly have to re-look at sentences because you read the same sentence over. So that's another thing. I think this book is formatted horribly. Another thing, this book has early Gen Z, late millennial type of writing, in the sense that the main character hates life, but doesn't hate life because life hates her. She hates life because she feels like she's smarter than life. She's smarter than life. She's quicker than life. So her entire internal dialogue is all these quips and stuff about how she is just so much above life. And it's just aggravating because there's actually nothing interesting about her at all. And I think the worst thing about this book is I think this book thinks that it's clever. I think we're supposed to read the dialogue from this, her name is Hera. From this Hera character, you're supposed to read her internal thoughts and some of the stuff that she says, and you're supposed to almost bizarrely relate to it. You're supposed to find her cynicism relatable. You're supposed to find her astute observations about life interesting, but you don't. She's not funny. She doesn't have anything interesting to say. This book makes pop culture references that don't land in any way. And you guys, when I tell you there is at least 3 metaphors on every single book, I mean it. There's at least 3 metaphors on every single book. None of them are good. None of the metaphors are good. And what it does, it just makes this book exhausting to read. I've been reading this book 50 pages at a time, and I've hated every single 50 page. And I don't know the point of this book. The main character, like I said, she's not insufferable, because insufferable, you could put her somewhere. I could do an insufferable main character. She's a nothing burger character in the sense that she doesn't actually, I always say this, I hate dishonest main characters. Main characters in books that I do not believe exist in the real world. They are a character that only exists in this book. And the writer wants me to believe that this character actually exists in the real world, but no, this character is very internet, very internet type of character. You're supposed to read this book and be like, wow, Hera was so relatable to me. I know some people are not gonna like her, but she just got me. But this is an imaginary version of yourself. The part of yourself that you think you might be Hera, but you're not. Hera doesn't actually exist. People like Hera don't actually exist in real life. She's a made-up character, and everything about her personality is exaggerated in order to hit towards a certain type of reader, and I hate it. This is everything I hate about the white girl trying her best, but like flailing through life and depressed. It's everything I hate about this type of book, because the characters are just so flat. They're actually really unrelatable. They think they're funny, but they're actually just deplorable. And it's not even that she's cheating with a married man, because I don't care. I don't care about anything Hare has going on, because I don't think anything about her character is all that interesting. I really wish I would have read this book on audio, because then I could just be listening to it and I wouldn't have to literally stare at this horribly formatted book. And because something in me wants to know where the hell this book is going. I only have 130 pages left. I want to know where the hell could this book possibly go? Like, what's the point in all of this? Another thing, Taylor Swift fans, stand the fuck down. Like, who am I to talk about stand-em with my Beyonce shirt? But one of the quotes in the beginning is, "I've got a blank space, baby, and I'll write your name." Like, that already turned me off. Like, I just already knew this. Like I said, this book is very late millennial, early Gen Z, like for people between the ages of like 26 and 34. Like, you're supposed to read this and really see yourself in Hera, but I don't. I really don't. Maybe it's the Australia of it all as well. Like, maybe that's another thing. I don't even like American books like this. I can only imagine Australian versions. Like, something about this just feels so forced. That's the perfect word. This book just feels really forced. I literally just took my bookmark out, and it damn near makes me want to stop reading it. It damn near makes me want to give up on it, but I am going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. This was my fear that this is going to be bad. This is everything I feared it was going to be. I haven't looked at reviews for this book to see how people feel. Maybe I need to go do that and see what's the temp on this book. Are people liking this book? I don't know, but this ain't it. This ain't it, but I'm gonna keep reading because I do want to know what the hell is going to happen. My curious mind. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Hello, you guys, and good morning. If you guys are wondering why I think for almost every clip in this video I have had on a Beyonce shirt, it is because over on my Patreon, I'm doing a week of Beyonce videos, and so I'm wearing a different Beyonce shirt in every video. That is why that is. But last night, I thankfully finished Green Dot by Madeline Gray, and I'm going to go ahead and give this book the 1 star that this book deserves. This book is so empty. There is no emotion in this book. There are no stakes in this book. There's nothing interesting in this book. The writing is not clever. The metaphors are not intentional or even thoughtful. This book is just, in my opinion, slapped together. It's just not interesting in any way. And the main character is the biggest downfall of this book. She is so hollow and so vapid. And it's not because she's sleeping with a married man. No, you will actually be shocked by how little you care that she is sleeping with this married man. You do not care about that relationship in any way. You don't care about anything going on in her life. The most endearing part about this book is between our main character and her dad. And that's not really, dived into all that much. It's just boring. This book was really bad, and it was shockingly bad. I'm going to go ahead and give this book 1 out of 5 stars. I will be unhauling this book. This book is just not good. So we're going to move on to the last book in this video, and that book is called Worry. I will pivot, though, in my own personal life in this moment. I need to read the book club book, and then I will come read Worry. So there's going to be a little bit of a time. It might only be a day. It might take me a day to read the book club book. So you might have not even noticed, but I'm going to read the book club book and then I'm going to get into Worry. Okay. Hello, you guys. My shirt matches my couch. We are about to talk about the last book we are reading in this video, and it is a book called Worry by Alexandra Tanner. This book has to be better than Green Dot. I took a little break from reading for this vlog because I had to do book club. This book has to be better than Green Dot because everything has to be better than Green Dot. So I have made it to the 100-page point in this book. And in this book, we are following 2 sisters. We have a main sister. Her name is Jules. She is 28 years old, and she lives in New York City. She's had a boyfriend for a couple of months. She's in a rent-controlled apartment, and she is a writer by thought, but is she an actual writer by trade? No. She kind of does some editing for this like Spark Notes type of website. And her sister named Poppy is coming to live with her. She does not want Poppy to come and live with her because she thinks Poppy is kind of like just flailing through life, has no real passion, and she's worried that if she lets Poppy come live with her, Poppy is never going to leave, and Poppy is going to become a part of her life, and she does not want that. So this book just starts in the 100 pages that I've read, is we're following Jules and Poppy around as they live with one another, and we get to know what's going on in their life. We get to know their relationship with their parents. So their dad is a dermatologist, but he's big on like facial enhancer. So he does filler, he does Botox. So he's very consumed with like the way that they look. And then they have a mother who is just not concerned in any way about their feelings. Her feelings is the only thing that matters. She's constantly telling her kids how they made like her feel. They need to do this. They're so mean to her. She's a narcissist. They have a narcissist as a mother, and they're dealing with that. And then you had the relationship between Jules and Poppy. Jules found out that Poppy wanted to commit suicide, so she's actually really worried about Poppy. She just doesn't know really how to express it. And Poppy is just Poppy is very woke. She's our very woke girl, and she just has weird ideas on life and how people should live their life, and that's pretty much what's going on in this book. Because if I just keep telling you, I'm just going to tell you what happened in the first 100 pages, because there really is no plot to this book. There's no moment that gets the book going. We're not really headed towards anything. We're just following these two characters. You guys, what if I told you this book is the stereotypical white girl tired type of book, and I'm enjoying it? So the reason why I say this book is a stereotypical white girl tired type of book is because it checks all of the marks. So rule number one in the book about a white girl who's tired and depressed is she has to be attractive, not too attractive to where everything in her life probably goes well because of pretty privilege, but not unattractive enough to never get any play from whichever type of person she's attracted to. So she's perfectly attractive. That's a check mark. Number two, gotta be at a job that's kind of like not real, a job that's not real, a job that's kind of a dead end job. It's not the worst job in the world, but it's just kind of like dead end. She's not moving up. That is number two. Number three, usually lives in a big city, usually lives in some type of big city. That's number three. Number four, has a bad relationship either with one of her parents or both of her parents, or her parents are dead. That is number four. Number five, they have to have a really odd relationship with sex, to the point where it's almost like gross. Like the way that the character has sex with whoever they're attracted to is kind of like gross. They're constantly talking about having like getting infections, having like weird, disgusting sex with people. Check this box, checks that mark as well. And then when it comes to the writing, this book also checks off the mark in the writing, where like the writing is really like, I wouldn't say things don't connect. Like every sentence feels like it's part of its own performance art. Like you can tell that the writer is writing this book to like evoke a certain feeling of like, it's very millennial writing. That's the only way I can describe it. It's a very millennial, a cool millennial, a New York millennial, a Brooklyn millennial way of writing, where like the sentences are like really short, and the author's trying to be profound sometimes. They're trying to be funny, and like, okay, so the character will just say random shit out of nowhere, random shit that maybe doesn't have anything to do with anything they said before, or they'll make some observation about life that's just really, really strange. And then the most important thing, this is the most important thing that all white girl tired books have. They are oddly obsessed with something. So when you think about a book like Interesting Facts About Space, she's obsessed with space. When you think of books like Nah, I Done Forgot All My White Girl Exhausted Books. But when you think about this book, she's obsessed with like Mormon religious bloggers, like mommy bloggers. She's obsessed with religious mommy bloggers. And that's another thing that's, Tessa Moshfegh, my year of rest and relaxation. She was obsessed with Whoopi Goldberg, right? Like they have to be obsessed with something. For some reason, that's another check in the box. They have to have some weird obsession with something that nobody actually has a weird obsession with in real life. And that's this book. So this book is checking off all the marks, usually all the things I do not like. So why am I enjoying this book? This book seems like it's in on the joke. This book is fully aware that it's making this type of book, and it's making almost, I wouldn't say it's making a mockery, but it's taking the piss out of it. Like it knows that it's making a book that's been made a lot of times, and so it's overdoing everything. Like it's over exaggerating. Like the mom is ridiculous. Our main character being on Instagram all day looking at these mommy vloggers is ridiculous. Poppy being a leftist, and you know, you can't even buy like a soda stream, and you can't do this, you can't do that. It's everything is over the top, and that's what makes it interesting. This book actually seems like it's more of an interrogation of this genre of book. And the thing I'm going to give this book the most, this book is actually funny. This book, like, I think sometimes the other books that try to do this, who try to do this earnestly, they try to be funny. They think their main characters are clever and witty, and they're not. This book is actually genuinely funny. I think this writer actually has some chops when it comes to comedy. So I'm enjoying this book. No, don't get it confused. I'm not like 5 stars, but this book is easy to read. I do find it interesting. I do find these two characters interesting. I like this sister dynamic. I don't read a lot of books about sisters, so I'm actually enjoying the sister dynamic, and I'm having a good time with this one. So I'm going to keep on reading. If there are major changes, I'll come and tell you. But if there's not, then this will be the last clip of the vlog, and I will wrap it up in the next one. So I'm going to keep on reading, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Hello, you guys. My hair looks a mess. That's how you know it's the end of the video. That means I have been reading, and when I read, I be all up in my hair, and I'm here to close out the video. I finished Worry by Alexandra Tanner, and I'm going to tell you guys, I enjoyed the hell out of this book. I am not expecting a lot of people to like this book, but this book was so freaking funny to me. This book read like a sitcom. It felt like you were just following scenes in a TV show. Like the way that the book would jump from scene to scene and then different parts of dialogue. And the best part about this book is that this book was genuinely funny. I always tell you, my least favorite thing is when an author tries to be funny in a book and nothing lands. I do not laugh once. This book, I laughed several times. The way that this is written is so good. The author of this is so clever. The author knows, because sometimes I feel like people think internet stuff is funny, like stuff that's on social media they think translates into a book and is funny, but you can tell the author doesn't have any like actual worldly humor. Like they're not smart enough to actually be all that clever. That's not this author. The different references that are used, the way this author, like the way they structure punchlines, it just works. I just think you should pick up this book. I think you should pick up this book. But at the heart of this book is a story about two sisters who are opposites but the same, and it's so good. There is a part in the book where our main character talks about how she treated her sister when her sister was young. And I have a bunch of sisters, and something about that really just resonated with me. It's so good. And even though this book is satirical at times and it's over the top and it's ridiculous, there's still a lot of heart in this book, which is something I think a book like Green Dot, which I despise, was missing. I think this book tried to do this, but the finesse wasn't there. This book felt empty and hollow, and I genuinely hated it. I gave it 1 star. But this fully worked for me. I'm giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. So enjoyable, such a surprise. You should get your hands on this book. I was not expecting this book to be good. Even the ending had me thinking about the entire book. This is a book I would 100% would revisit. I enjoyed my reading experience of this book. And then the first book that we read was definitely better now. This was a romance book, I think. I think this book is a backdoor romance, but I enjoyed this book as well. 3.5 out of 5 stars altogether. I do still think I will pick up the woman tired genre because Worry worked. And the thing is, Worry shouldn't have worked for me. That's how I know if it's done well, I can like it. And then this was also really good. This was more thoughtful than I thought it was going to be. And it was something I hadn't read in in a while, like dealing with a character who has substance abuse issues. I like that. And Green Dot was everything I despise about these types of books. So Green Dot was the miss, but I knew something was going to be a miss. Overall, I think I had a solid reading week. But we need to talk about some books because I did do some book shopping. So first, a pre-order came in. I got the new Emily Henry book. I will be reading this in a vlog with you guys very, very soon. I feel like I'm one of the last people to even get my hands on this book. By the way, if you guys are wondering if I'm going to read the new Hunger Games book, I am not. I'm kind of out of like, I have a thing in my life about going backwards, and something about reading the Hunger Games feel like going backwards in my life. I have zero desire to read the new Hunger Games book. So like, no, I didn't get my hands on that. But I will be reading this Emily Henry. I don't see why it's so goddamn long. But yeah, we're going to read this in a vlog soon, but it came in the mail as a pre-order. Then I bought some more books. Let's see. There were some books by some Black authors that I wanted to get my hands on, some Black romance. I got a Natasha Bishop book called Only for a Week. Look how cute this is. So maybe a book club book. I've just been in the mood to actually read some romance books. So these might be some books that I end up just reading on my own. This says the Forever Falling series. I hope that this is the first book in the series or I missed something. So yeah, this seems like something I should read, and I should read really, really soon. The next book I got is a book that I actually really wanted to read. I might already have this on my Kindle, but I guess I have it physically now. Let the Games Begin by Rafaro Faith Mazarura. This seems like a lot of fun. I think I've heard good things about this book, so I got my hands on that. Can't wait to read. And then this looks like a spy mystery, I don't know, sounds like a planned romance type of book. It's written by 2 authors. So I got this. Some good finds. I bought these books a while ago, so like I'm like, what the hell did I buy? Ooh, I bought another book by a Black author. It is called Francine's Spectacular Crash and Burn. Got my hands on this as well. Supporting Black authors always around here. Actually, all of these books except for Emily Henry are Black authors. Then I got my hands on 2 new releases. I got Happy Land by Dolan Perkins Valdez. This is the author that wrote one of my favorite books, Take My Hand. It's by that author, and I did not know she came out with something new. So I had to get my hands on it when I saw it. And then I got Harlem Rhapsody by Victoria Christopher Murray. That's going to be fun. So yeah, those are my new purchases. I need to find some place to put all of these. And that is the end of this video. I will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.